Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Carmen Bryant. Thank you for being here. This is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. And so I have been doing some series. I started a new series, which is the the weapons of the narcissist. And in this part one, I did the part one of the power of persuasion. So I'm doing the narcissist weapons, and this is a series, but I'm doing part one, meaning part one of the power of persuasion. That's happened to be one weapon. And so I did part one last week, and in part one, I talked about the principles of power, control, impact, and authorities. But we were talking about and I'm looking up at my paper because I typed it before I came on here, but it's the power of persuasion. And there's a doctor by the name of Dr. Robert Cialdini, who did research, and then according to the field of psychology, came up and introduced the concept of 6 principles of influence that help you persuade others. These principles, if most of you understand businesses and marketing, those of you who have been marketing, those of you that are learning how to be social influencers, even military, we use these principles in order to direct, persuade, and guide people. Leadership in the military, and you have the non-commissioned officers and the commissioned officers that run parallel, but leadership is the power of influencing people to do things that oftentimes they either don't want to do or may not have ever done, but you may have done or may not have done, or you do it together. And so it's really even team building. And so in there, the principles are the law of reciprocity. So reciprocity and consistency were the 2 that I covered last week. Today I'm going to cover social proof and liking, and then tomorrow I'm going to cover authority and scarcity. And so these are all the things that people use or leadership use within companies to influence, and to increase productivity, to build team and rapport with their people. It's a good thing used for good, good principles used for good purposes. But now when you add that into what we're talking about, which is narcissist abuse, the narcissist uses these principles, some of them without even knowing that they're using the principles, and now you're getting a name to it. So now that you're getting a name and a understanding of what they're doing and how they're doing, and it's easier for you to recognize it, so you're more sensitive to it, so that you can stop yourself. And sometimes it's hard, but when you have this information and you're equipped to counteract what they're doing, you'll recognize what it is that they're doing. Now, do they understand what they're doing? All they know is, most of them don't. All they know is that it works. We put a name to it. Even some of you that have come out of situations in which you were being abused by a narcissist or narcissist abuse didn't realize that you were dealing with a narcissist. And the term narcissist abuse and a lot of the terminology that we use, flying monkeys, triangulation, hoovering, a lot of that is popular psychology, pop psychology. That's what they call it, popular psychology. That's not something that's taught in colleges. That is a terminology that's not taught by, within the college and universities. That's something that's now learned within popular psychology, and actually it works to be able to take what you've learned in school and to actually understand what the concept or that the terminology is, helps people understand what is happening. So a college educated, professional can take the pop psychology and add them together and then explain to you what exactly that mean and what the dynamics of what is happening. In this situation, I'm talking about, in this series, I'm talking about the weapons that are used against you to pull you in and keep you in there. And so if you break down all, there's so much that happens within this dysfunctional relationship with a narcissist, whether it's family or friends, that, you don't really understand what's going on. But as we move on, that's this, that's that, and to be able to take it and go studying like, I can relate psychology with popular psychology and bring you an explanation from a professional standpoint to help you to understand and make it a little easier, which for some people is not easy, to get out of the situation or to prevent yourself from being either caught up in it again, or for those of you that have never experienced this, and I pray that you never do, but you're probably going to run into one in your lifetime. Doesn't matter, it's on the rise. So you probably met bosses, people in passing, just anybody. You're going to come across a narcissist. It's inevitable. You're going to come across them. So, and today I just wanted to talk about the next 2, which is number 3 and 4 of the Dr. Robert Cialdini's influence, which is the power of persuasion, that I'm doing as one of the weaponry or arsenal, one of the weapons in the arsenal of weapons that are used by the narcissist. And so in social proofing, and please forgive me if I don't keep looking at the camera because I typed up my notes before. Usually I kind of free flow, look at something, then I free flow. But this one, I wanted to make sure I catch all the details of what I was thinking and what I was writing and what I was studying. So I actually wrote it. So some of this I may be reading as I'm talking to you guys, but I wrote it, based off of what I was studying. And so social proof is this. And think about the professional side of it, how it's used in the world of professionalism, or even for me, I thought about how I use that in the military to influence and lead people and develop leadership, develop soldiers. So look at it on one hand, look at it as a positive at how it can be used for those of you that are starting companies, starting, coaching, even in public speaking, whatever you guys are doing, but now also take it and flip it over and see how the narcissist perverts that principle and uses it against you, and how I'm telling you, they take good principles and good things and they pervert it. I think I had someone early on in my videos tell me to stop complimenting people because that's what the narcissist does, and you're no better than the narcissist. Well, first of all, the narcissist got it from us, so we didn't get it from the narcissist, they got it from us. So I'm not going to change what I do when I compliment people. And so my first thought was, being that sometimes I think petty, I just don't let it come out. I was like, so you want me to tell you how stupid you are and how ignorant you are? How's that going to benefit you, watching the video? So I just blocked it. I said, you know what, I'm going to keep my thoughts to myself because I hurt you more than I help you by saying that. But think about, how they use these positive things that are created or taught in order to help you build your businesses, and think about how it's being used against you. So we're talking about social proofing, which means trusting people or things that are popular or endorsed by people who appear credible. Okay, experts in the fields, just like you see those commercials, recommended by the doctors, 99% recommended by the Dental Association or Psychological Association. A lot of times when people have credentials, doctor titles, you would think that we are credible. We should be credible, especially if it's not a doctor degree out of a Cracker Jack box. You're not just calling yourself doc because it's cute, but if you are really, have gotten a doctor's degree and you have studied it, or if you have a master's degree, or you have studied this and you have credentials behind your name, you should be credible. And with those credentials that you have, you are accountable for making sure that you provide good information for people, because people are dependent on you. But a narcissist can take that credibility, even if they have titles, within the world of business or whatever, they have titles, and they will take that and take advantage of it to spew false information, to do dysfunctional stuff, and people trust them because of the rank or the title that they hold: doctor, physician, psychologist, psychiatrist. Some of them are I hate to say it, my fellow peers, some of them are narcissists themselves, especially in the world of psychology. You know what I mean? Where it's very easy to influence people, so we are held at the highest standard. That's why they have licensing boards. That's why, we hold the highest level of credentials. When you say license in the state of, you are held at a high level of competency, to always continue your education and never stop learning. So think about it. And a narcissist will take that credibility and they will use it, or they'll use people with credibility, connect to them with titles. Another thing is like experts in the fields, peers, friends and family, celebrities. If a celebrity is wearing the shoe or wearing the outfit, then you got to go get the shoe and the outfit. If they're driving a particular car and they look good in that car because that's your favorite artist, they have just now marketed a car. It could be a scooter or roller skates. Users through use, testimonies, reviews, large groups of people or crowds, social influence. How do you think that these narcissists influence crowds or social medias or a large group of followings, and they get these flying monkeys? And not only flying monkeys, they get people that gang stalk on their behalf. They do the dirty work on their behalf. That's how you get gang stalking, on behalf of that narcissist, because they have that power to influence and persuade, especially if they're people that look like they have influence. And it could be some stupid stuff that comes out of their mouth. I've heard some people that are in positions of power that when they open up their mouth, it's just ridiculous. And these are some of the narcissists that I've been around or have been associated with. When, they're very intelligent. People think they're brilliant and wonderful. And then when you get them in private, as they're talking and manipulating, because they do it with anybody, even if you consider just a friend, a platonic friend, they still manipulate. And you listen to them like, dang, you're the dumbest, smartest person I've met. These people are just so fooled by you, that mist, that haze that you relieve. You got people thinking that you're really that smart, and some of you guys can attest to that. So another thing in social proof is you see others doing it and then you're likely to do it. They did a social experiment, I think I had it on Facebook if you guys saw it, where people were entering into a doctor's office, and every time a bell rang, the people would just stand up. And so what it was is there was somebody in there that knew of the social experiment, and they knew that, whenever the bell rings, you stand up and then sit back down. And so when people were coming in, total strangers coming in for the doctor's appointment, they had a camera watching them, that every time that bell rang, they were reading, they would just stand up and then sit back down without looking. And then eventually everybody was doing it until one person was looking. One person came in like, why are you standing up? I don't know. And every time the bell rings, even the person that was planted in there had a laugh, and they were still doing it. So like monkey see, monkey do. Well, the narcissist does that too. If they can influence enough people to do something, that'll influence you to do something. And a lot of times we're influenced by social influence to do something. Let's see. If you take one person and influence them to behave a certain way or do something, they have the power to change or influence the rest of the people, especially if they see rewards and favoritism for this particular behavior. How do you think the narcissist keeps this dysfunctional family intact and everybody playing their role? Because a lot of them are looking at the golden child. And so a lot of them want what the golden child have, but they have no idea how much the golden child is suffering. And so with that golden child, that is the person that they have groomed. Or in a business, for example, you have one loyal employee that is trying to help the company and help with the vision of the company. So they'll do things and they'll continue doing certain things and processing papers a certain way. And this will get in the military. We used to do memorandums. And so we learned how to do memorandums. And when I work with, and I've done memorandums for such a long time down in the company sections. The first time that when I began working with general staff, now these are the big boys on the base, and I watched how they spoke, how they wrote, how they articulated themselves. I was able to take that information and take it down to the companies as a first sergeant, and I started a new standard. So all memorandums, when they came to me and I checked them before I sent them to the commander, needed to look like mine, because I learned from general staff who was specially trained and has specific identifiers to write papers a certain way. How does congressional complaints look? How does it look when you're trying to get a paper? Because a lot of times it goes through a lot of hands. It goes from the soldier to the squad leader to the platoon sergeant to the office to me to the commander. From the commander it goes to the sergeant major, to the sergeant major goes to the colonel goes to the command sergeant major of the brigade sergeant major sends it to the colonel then sends it up to general staff. We can eliminate all that because of the fact that I had the knowledge firsthand from general staff. So I would write it in accordance to how they accepted the paperwork when the paperwork came in, so that it had an easier flow as it began to move, and it kept coming back to me for corrections. And so I still had people that worked up there that would give me insights on how to write certain things. But do you see that, I came in and I changed the standard of writing, and so a boss or a CEO can take a person and teach them certain things, and everything now changes because you notice that when paperwork comes through this person or how it is written, it has an easier flow to come through. So everyone starts altering how they dress. How people start dressing, and how, there's a great influence on how people dress. We're going to get to that in just a minute, how people dress. And the company is changing to look a certain way. You're coming in jeans. Nobody's wearing jeans anymore. So guess what? Socially, you have been prompted to change. Now, some people are just going to be rebellious. They don't care. But, some people are prompted to change and trying to be successful. So this is what a narcissist uses. He takes one person. It could be a flying monkey. And they're going to groom those flying monkeys, and to be accepted and to get what I have in my hand, You have to be socially acceptable to me. You have to change to me. So this is how narcissists, even with their close supply, this is how they alter the way that you're thinking and behaving, or the certain ways that they think and behave. Because a lot of you came out with those narcissistic fleas. You were acting like them, wondering, why am I the narcissist? But you started acting like them because it's like they always get away with something. They always get what they want. They always, people are always, agreeing with, agreeing with what they say. They get what they want, And so you guys begin to mirror that narcissist. Even though they're mirroring you, you begin to mirror the narcissist behavior. And for some of that behavior, it was toxic behavior. And so some of you guys are coming out of that. So the next one is liking. You will comply with the request of people that are attractive. Believe it or not. If they're attractive, or that you really like them, think about social media. Those people that you listen to a lot, people that you like, that you find attractive, not only may be attractive, but also may know what they're talking about, articulate, that's how narcissists do it too. A lot of them, the somatics some of the cerebrals, are very attractive, influential people. It's almost like, you use this for business, but it's like the narcissist has this, the power of persuasion, but it's like a seduction. It's almost like like the snake, a seduction to seduce you. And it's just something about them that just seduces you and calls you to lock into their videos or listen to their voice, or it's just something, and you can tell that it's something, but I don't know what that something is. But the more I watch, the more intrigued I am, but let's see, they comply with people that are attractive or those you really like and may shower you with favor and compliments. They'll use their assets and find common ground with you. They relate to you. That's that mirroring. Remember that narcissist gets with you, find common ground with you. They relate with you. They start to mirror you. We're fighting for the same cause. And so as described by Dr. Cialdini, he said physical attractiveness will sell. Think about how many sexy people smoke a cigarette on TV. Why you got to be half naked? Why you got to be super sexy? Why you got to have that tight clothes on when you smoking a cigarette? That's not what the average person look like. They look like a cowboy. You got rollers in your head. Kids will stress you out. You stink. You ain't took a bath yet, and you're smoking a cigarette. You know that if you smoke a cigarette, you are not going to look like the person that you ain't all of a sudden just magically going to lose weight and just have a 36, 24, 36, if that's even normal nowadays. You men know doggone well if you smoke a cigarette, you're not going to have no six pack, and you're going to be laying on a blanket or on the car with no shirt on, smoking a cigarette. You're going to be coughing and hacking. Your breath going to stink. Your clothes going to stink, and you're liable to get throat or lung cancer. They don't tell you all that, but think about it. Sex sells, beauty sells. Think about the car models that lay across, a sports car. The men going over there to see the women and mess around and got a sale by one of the women. Them bought a car that they can't even afford because you had a half-naked bikini thong-wearing woman laying on top of that car. So attractive and physical attractiveness sells. Similarity, behave like a friend in order to show people that you can relate and to understand them. These are all the things that we did in the military. All the things that you do as an influencer on YouTube. It's a brand that we're selling, because it is a for-profit business, at the same time. But we're not going to handle you like customers. We're going to handle you like family, because in actuality, you are family. Now, a narcissist will handle you like family just because they're trying to get something out. They're trying to get supply. They're trying to get money. They're trying to get something from you. There's always something behind it. But when a person has to change, in order to get flies, you got to put honey out there. You can get more flies with honey than you can with vinegar. And so in order to influence people to heal, what is the purpose of me drawing you in? It's for you to heal. It's to get you knowledgeable. It's to get you to learn something. So that's why I always tell people, when you come on camera, just like my mentor teaches, when you come on camera, always look your best. It is a professional, and people deserve the best of you. You come on, make sure your face is made. You're not laying in bed with rollers in your head talking, snot coming out your nose, boogers in your eyes. Thank God nobody can smell a camera. Your breath stink. When I come on camera, I go brush my teeth and I make myself up like I'm going to work. Even when I'm on camera with clients, regardless, even during the COVID, I still got up, went and got myself dressed, because I believe that I need to present the best me possible to you. You deserve that, right? So I believe in coming in, presenting the best me possible. So I always come in and make sure I'm always, online, and I always look professional, because I'm giving you guys something to look at. Same thing that I did in the military. As a first sergeant, you are the epitome of a company. And so the soldiers are looking at at you because you have achieved things that they're trying to achieve. You know the regulations. You understand rules and law. You understand order and discipline. You understand rank structure. You always look decent. You smell good. Your uniform is always taking the time to take care of myself and always taking the time to talk to soldiers and care for them. You have me and you have some commonalities. When I was a private, that's some of the things that I went through. Let me tell you what I used to do. See how you connecting with the soldiers. This is all the stuff that we did in the military. It's called coaching, but it's called leadership. Compliments, of course. Who doesn't want a compliment? You can't lead anybody or you can't serve anybody if you don't compliment them. You're doing a great job. Keep pushing it. Most of you guys are encouraged when you have people on YouTube. You know, when I send little messages to you guys on YouTube, or when I say it, I'm really proud of you, you know, because I know it's hard. I've been there. That commonality. I've been there. I don't know exactly what you're going through, and I know exactly what everybody's going through, but I know what it was like for me, and I know how hard it was, and I didn't have anybody to encourage me but my pastor. And then my group, that tribe that I have, didn't even know all the details of what I was going through. She was the one who encouraged me, and what she reciprocated, what she gave me, I reciprocated back to people. So that was a good law of reciprocity. I gave out what I got because I knew how much it helped me. And so, you know, it's that commonality. You have that commonality. So that similarity, behave like a friend, you know, find common ground with the people. That's how you lead. You can't lead people and you think you're better than the people. You can't teach people when you come on and you arrogant and you think you know everything, and then you hyping up the anger rather than, you got to get the anger out, but then you're releasing some peace into them, you know, giving them some peace of mind when they cut off your camera, or when they stop talking to you, or when they come out of counseling with you. Compliments, of course, you know, you're doing a great job. I appreciate it. You know, hey, you know what? Don't be discouraged, you know, in the you know, you are beautiful. Don't let anybody tell you you're different. That's something that you're supposed to do. But everything that the narcissist does, they do it for ulterior motives. There's a reason behind everything that they do. And it's not about you, it's all about them. When a person is genuine in helping you, when it comes to compliments and things like that, they do it genuinely because they want to build you back up from where you're broken. Many of you guys are broken. So we spend a lot of times, you know, myself, and you have people like my mentor, Apostle Helen Sadler. You have people like Bishop R.C. Blakes that build you up from where you are hurt. But a narcissist is not building you up. They're building themselves up. They're building their viewers because it's about me. You're watching me. And a lot of you watch and there's good information. Sometimes you can have good information. You can come out of college, you know, and have some great information, but you dumb as a rock because you don't even know how to apply the information. You know, you got all this information, but you don't even know how to use it. So you got it. You got the head knowledge, but you don't have the revelation of the knowledge. So this is some of the things that you guys pay attention to. Why? And especially if they over compliment. Why do you keep complimenting me? Why you keep telling me how sexy I am, how beautiful I am? You love the way I talk. You like the way my eyes look. You know, you got that long flowing, you know, hair cascading down your shoulders. You got them 6-pack, 4-packs, 2-ounce, 4-ounce. You got them old big chicken legs looking like a big old giant emu, you know, with your sexy duck lip self. You know, why do you keep complimenting? Why? Sometimes a compliment is good, but when they over compliment, and some of you guys are flattered because you got holes in your heart. So you want to keep hearing that. You've got this need in you. But when it gets overboard, you know, you can tell me one time, all right, cool. Now you keep on telling me, what do you want? You know, like kids, mommy, you're so beautiful. I just love you so much, daddy. You're so strong. You got big old muscles. What do you want? That's too simple. You see me? What do you want? Let's see what else. So compliments, if you like a person or if you think a person is somebody, they use social media platforms to hold intimate conversation and form a relationship with your customer or viewers. That's what I do all the time. But imagine why a narcissist does it. What are they doing? They're drawing you to them. They're not trying to give you a resolution. They just use that because that's what we use. And so that is an easy way to lure you in. Why not? It's working for everybody else, so let me do it. Contact and cooperation. So that's fighting for the same cause as your customers or clientele. Nothing builds rapport and closeness like good old-fashioned teamwork. Of course, we're fighting for the same cause. We're fighting to expose the narcissist. We're fighting to heal. We're fighting to make this known in the legal department, the judicial system, you know, colleges, lawmakers. We're trying to get the attention of the lawmakers, domestic violence program. We're fighting for the same thing. You see what I mean? And you know that narcissist is going to come on. And a lot of people that are on YouTube are narcissists. They're not, you know, and they pretend to be. I mean, there's sex offenders on here. I mean, there's so much stuff on here, you know, and a lot of them are fighting right along with you. And you guys just play into it. I understand how you feel, girl, and I know how you feel. And a lot of you guys fall for it. Be careful when you start getting, Be careful, y'all. Be careful, because they'll use that. So the good principle of building rapport, they're grooming you. They're mirroring you. They're listening to what we're saying, and they're mimicking, they're copying what we're saying. So they blend right in with us and look like a survivor, and they're not. And eventually they fall apart. Conditioning association, which is connecting your brand with your values, and those values is something that you communicate and you possess. Well, narcissists knows how to do that. They know how to connect their values. They don't have any values, put it that way. They take someone's values and they connect it, and they make it present to you that they have values and morals and ethics. And when you're around them long enough, you realize that all that is fake. That's a lie. And most of you guys said it. They have no morals, no values. They don't care, because a narcissist cannot keep up the facade. A true a person that is truly deeply concerned about leadership, about people, about helping people. These are the principles that they carry, that are innate, that are good, that are wholesome, that are pure. Before narcissists, they adopt these in order to pull you in order to manipulate you. Everything that behind it, even behind it is like, I know what they're saying, but it just doesn't feel genuine. Something wrong. It's like it's perverted. Like something is wrong with it. Go with that. That's a red flag. That's that. That's that. So that's number 3 and 4, which is social proof and liking. So I went over reciprocity and consistency. This is social proofing and liking. So hopefully you got something out of it. I wasn't meaning to stay on that long, but I got caught up in the conversation. So thank you guys for being patient with you. Make sure you subscribe. Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. You can find me on other social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse, and then also Psychological Health Consultants and Services. That's my business. But some of the same stuff that's on the other platforms is the exact same thing that's on the business platform. So it's the exact same thing. I don't know why I have two. I should have just merged those two together. But make sure you go and order my book. It is Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. You can find it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. You can get the ebook. You can get the Kindle. And those of you that are out of country, you're welcome to contact the publisher, which is Westbow Press, and they will send overseas, because I know a lot of people said that they were having problems with getting the books sent overseas with those two major companies. But Westbow Press will send overseas if you need the book. Give it as a stocking stuffer as it comes. You guys donate to the domestic violence shelters, because some of you guys didn't know anything about it. Some of the people there don't know anything about it. And so, am I missing anything? Those of you that are seeking coaching, you're welcome to email me. Dr. Carmen Bryant, Dr. Carmen Bryant Dr. Carmen Bryant at Outlook.com. There we go. And you guys, if you want to inquire about coaching fees, I will provide you with my fees. If you're in the state of Washington, I can provide you with counseling. But if you're outside the state of Washington, I can only provide you with coaching, totally different than counseling. And so for those of you that are looking for counseling, and some of you need counseling first, get counseling first. Use your insurance, or if you can pay through BetterHelp.com/Dr. Carmen, they'll give you a 10% discount. And if you're having monetary issues, they will provide you with a grant and make it affordable for you. And it's licensed counselors all through every state. They're licensed in your state. So sometimes you don't have the accessibility to the counselors that know what they're talking about. And when you're vetting the counselors or looking for the counselors, ask them, do you understand complex PTSD? Do you understand PTSD? Do you understand psychological abuse? Do you understand domestic violence and the aftermath of domestic violence? Ask them questions like that. That is what you're trying to, that is what it is domestic violence. That's what you're looking for. Please go get counseling first. When you're complete with your counseling, then get coaching. Because coaching will direct you in a certain direction, wherever you're trying to go, what you're trying to go. And will also, like in the military, show you where the landmines are. Show you where the landmines are, some of the mistakes that you're making, some of the things, some of the mistakes that you're making to cause a Hoover, some of the mistakes that you're making, some things that you don't realize that you're doing to maneuver you to point A, point B, C, D, connect the dots. What else? Am I missing anything? Make sure you guys go and subscribe to my mentor's YouTube channel, Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. She will provide you with more information in reference to narcissist abuse from a spiritual and biblical perspective. She's off the chain, very deep, good information. Just watch us. And if there's other ones, be faithful, because don't just disconnect. Because when you disconnect from us or disconnect from videos, what happens is you're vulnerable. You think you're fine. You don't stop taking the penicillin just because the symptoms went away. You got to take it and make sure that cycle hits your system so that you don't go immune to it. But a lot of times people disconnect, and they disconnect for two reasons. They disconnect because they feel better and they think they got it all figured out. But sometimes you got to go back and you'll find out that there's some things that are not resolved yet. And other people disconnect because they've reconnected with the narcissist. So they don't want to hear you say, I'm good. And they're like, yep, you reconnected. They don't want you to know that, but there's nothing to be ashamed about. Get up and come back. That's it. You got, in order for a child to learn how to walk, they're going to fall and tumble with that big old head. They're going to tumble and fall. And if you don't ever let their feet hit the ground, they'll never learn how to walk. Ride a bicycle, run, get on your nerves, So thank you guys so much for being here with me. Thank you for being a part of this tribe. I hope this has helped you guys some, provide you with some education. Please, hold on. I'm having to do a major change in my office because I'm moving offices. And so I'm coming to the end of the month. I have to be moved out by the 1st. And so sometimes the videos might be like here and there. And then I'm also doing some other major moves because I'm getting ready, I'm trying to do the classes, but I'm also, in between the times that we're waiting for the classes, I may do some online classes with you guys, offer you guys some online classes with Zoom as I'm preparing the other classes. And so just be prepared for that. And I probably do them in the increments of 30 people at a time. And then after that, I'll take some of those classes and post them to my classes. And it'll be a little less expensive if you see me live. I mean, it's going to be a reasonable rate either way it goes. But, you'll get a discounted rate for coming live and then regular pricing back when you go and view it from my new webpage. And please be patient with me because I'm still setting that up. I just have a lot going on at one time. But I appreciate your patience and I thank you for all the encouragements. You guys have a wonderful day and go and be great.